Hello. Welcome to the Holy Shiftballs podcast. This isn't small talk. This is energy, awareness, and the moments that shift how you see everything. I'm Sharon, your energetic bestie, alongside my fabulous co-host, Bethany. How are you today, Bethany?
Girl, I am so good. And girl, we are here to help you turn your shit into a shift.
That's right, Bethany. Today we're stepping into a conversation that a lot of people are curious about, including us, and also maybe a little unsure how to discuss.
Yes, we're going to be talking energetic, angelic healing, energy, and what it actually means to work with something beyond what you can see.
Exactly. Today, our guest is Daniel Jackson, an angelic healer who helps people clear energetic blocks, gain clarity, and reconnect with themselves through intuitive and energy based work.
Yes. Yes. Welcome,
Mhm.
Daniel. Welcome to the Holy Shift Ball podcast.
I appreciate it.
Oh,
Glad to be
yeah.
here. I might add, real angelic healer because there's a lot of them out there who are fakes because they don't really actually doing it. They just say angelic, but they don't even know what angelic is. Even when they mentioned divine spirit, they want you to think divine spirit is something that's unattainable, but you actually have a divine spirit within inside of you as well. And that's very obtainable. They just don't want to tell you.
Mm.
Exactly.
Daniel, for someone hearing this for the first time, angelic, healer, energy, what is angelic healing in real everyday language? Like how explain it to our audience so we are aware of exactly what it is you're talking about and you're bringing to the stage today.
They use the word angelic for something that's because people want you to believe these fake practitioners and all that stuff want you to believe that they are getting information from the highest of source when absolutely angels don't actually do regular healing for people. You are getting energy from the collective, and you more so than you are actually getting from angels because that's not what angels do. But again, these fake practitioners, these fake mediums out there want you to believe that's what's taking place because they want to show how much more they are important in this spiritual community than you are. So that's why they use those terms. But no, they don't actually. Angels don't perform healing and stuff like that. It's a bunch of bull crap.
Okay, so in your words, what is it that you do and you're bringing awareness to?
I enlighten them to the knowing what is actually the truth and not the truth. I tell the truth and not just the pretty kind. And most of those people just tell the pretty kind because this is what they want you to believe in. That we all have guardian angels. I mean, again, if you had a guardian angel following you around, guarding you from everything in your life, what would you learn? You would learn nothing. Why would a guardian angel keep you from getting sick with cancer, but not keep you or yourself or your dog from getting hit by a car? Because they don't do either. That's why. But these fake mediums, these fake practitioners want you to believe that's what's taking place. I mean, but again, unfortunately, people are spiritually lazy. They're spiritually gullible, and they want to believe in these fairy tales and fantasyland answers because that's what they want. But they don't always get what they need, and that's the most important part. They need to get answers that they need, not just what they want.
Hmm.
Danielle, I'm really curious. What was your holy shift ball moment that set you on this path that allowed you to communicate with archangels?
I have seen spirit ever since I was 3 years old. I never not seen them. But it was right before I was turning 50 years old that I had started to see a whole bunch more than I normally do. I was the kid who grew up and had a lot of ghost stories to tell everyone. But at this point in time, it was right before I was turning 50. My wife went away on vacation for 2 weeks, and for those 2 weeks, I saw everything you could ever imagine in a scary movie happening in my house, like Poltergeist to the 10th power. And it was then that I just knew there was something else going on here, so I started to investigate what was taking place.
Wow.
It still
So
happens, though. It still happens. I don't ever not see that stuff. I just understand it now, and I'm not afraid.
how did you open yourself up to gain communication with with spirit?
That part of me was something different where I, um, again, to be able to work with angels, with angels or archangels, there's a process to it, and that process begins with you having a conversation with God. He came to me through a channeled message. I was working with a group of mediums in this group there because I had so much going on. I was trying to explain to them. They said, "You need to come with us, and we'll get this all figured out for you." So, working with that group of angels or a group of mediums, I found out that I could channel through channeled messages. I was getting messages from different archangels that were coming through, and then on one of those occasions, God came through. And when God walks into the room, you know who the hell walked into the room. So when he actually walked into the room and then came in through this person, um, first thing he said is, "Hello, my son." And then when he started speaking, my skin felt like it was on fire. Everyone in the room, their skin felt like it was on fire. And then they all had goosebumps and their hair was all sticking out straight. And then he said, "Don't worry, that'll go away soon." So he knew what was taking place.
Do you think that it was the energy, like God's energy, that
Absolutely.
created that burning sensation?
Yeah, absolutely, because the energy is so strong. Yeah, but then after that, um, part of the way in the and I said to him, I said, "Who am I speaking to?" Because I didn't know who it was, and he said, "It is I, your father, God." Except I don't like that word because you use that word too many times that have nothing to do with me. He's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's right. So he wants to be called father, but at that point he said, "You'll be working with my children, which whom you refer to as archangels," and that's why I say it that way. And he said, "But it is a process that you have to agree to go through with. And if you don't want to go through with it, Daniel, you don't have to." And I said, "No, I know I have to do this." He said, "Yeah, I knew you would." So he knows already. It's a, but I found out later on that when every time they said, "I knew you would," that I haven't really had my own option of free will throughout my entire life because I had been pre-programmed to do everything I had been guided to do, even though at sometimes I didn't know I was being guided. But yeah, I do now though. But then the process of that was I'd see them around me, these bluish white lights coming up out of the floor, but then it changed and I saw different beings and I'd see these little tentacles coming down and arms and touching me all over my body, these cold touches all over my body. And then it would happen for about 45 minutes, and then I'd fall asleep because it was at nighttime at bed, and then I'd wake up 2 or 3 hours later, and I'd be throwing up and crapping everywhere because the energy transfer is so strong. What they're doing is working on your soul, so I can see them, hear them, feel them, communicate with them better. But they're working on my soul and purging my body at the same time, so I can not only be able to receive the energy, but to be able to work with the energy. And that happened twice a month, and that went on for 3 years.
Wow.
So
So
if this is not happening for you,
it's,
they're not doing it. And most of the people I talk to, when I say this to them, they say, "Oh, that didn't happen to me." But they would always say this too, "Well, maybe that's just the process for you." No, it's the process. They just
Fair
don't
enough.
want. It's not happening to them. So no, they're not working with archangels. They're just full of S.
Okay.
what do you think the difference? I mean, if someone listening right now is intrigued about channeling, what would you say is their biggest, what's holding them back the most? Is it their mind? Is it their body? What
You
would
have
you?
to go through. There's a process of that to be able to receive clear messages. You must be clear. So in other words, you have to clear the pathway to getting through to your consciousness to be able to get clear messages. And no one wants to do it because it's hard. Because the process of doing that is you have to let go of all your pain, anger, sorrow, grief, guilt, anguish, hate, greed, selfishness, drama, anxiety, depression, jealousy, ego, doubt. No smoking, no drinking, no doing drugs. And if you have tattoos, you have to stop getting them because what's more important, to be spiritually free or to be fashionable? Because everything you put into the body and on the body is absolutely a block. and they don't want to get rid of it. They think it gives them identity. It doesn't.
Mm. Well,
The
would you
way,
say, sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
Would you say that, a lot of that is from our programming as young
Absolutely.
children?
Absolutely. Yeah, you wake up in your baby body and you're going, well, and your mom and dad's going, I'm your mom and dad. And you're going, I don't know who the heck you are, but okay.
Right.
And then they teach you the ways of the world, and everything they teach you is lies and deception. Although they don't know it is, because that's all they've been taught their entire lives as well.
Right.
I mean, if you take two children of the age of 2 years old, a very race green couple, you stick them all in one big giant room, 2 years old, and you turn two of them around and tell me, okay, who in this room do you hate? They don't know what the heck you're talking about because they
Right.
haven't learned how to do it yet, but they will.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They learn a bunch of other garbage too, and all that garbage compiles up inside of us. And we get taught throughout the world that we need to have 6 cars and 7 houses and 10 boats, and it's more important. And we also base our whole money system on rocks and paper. You've heard it, it's called gold and dollar bills and diamonds. We think those are important, but even that dollar bill doesn't have any value. It could be sitting on the ground. It doesn't have any value until you pick it
Right.
up. So what's that mean? The true value in this world is us, not that. We can't see through to that. You have to clear all that out.
Yeah. Do you think that's where we're headed? Do you see, from when you were a child or from when you were younger, do you see society advancing and being able to step into that kind of change?
Not yet.
Yeah.
We're still not. I mean, if we were, we wouldn't be pointing rockets at each other and putting walls up around each other. We wouldn't be fighting all the time, and we wouldn't have all this power and control that we have going on with our governments and big corporation, and also those other people, the ones who tell you how to live your life the way they want you to live it while giving them 10%.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, I'm interested about people communicating and having the ability to communicate and receive
Sure.
messages. Do you have to be pre-selected?
Yes, this ability is not given to you at birth. This ability is provided to your soul during the creation of your soul, and you either have it or you don't. This is not something you can go acquire. This is not something you can force. You have it because you do,
Okay.
and I have it because I do. But I'm also not meant to be a brain surgeon either. Some of us are just meant to be teachers, while others are meant to be students, and that's just the way it is. I don't care how many classes you take at your local college and stuff like. I'm going to take an intuition class, and now I'm going to be a psychic medium. No, it doesn't work that way. You either have it or you don't.
Yeah.
So,
I don't care
Daniel,
how many tarot cards you read.
what is the most profound message you've ever received for yourself or others?
I think to not judge each other, to not look at each other in a way just because we don't agree with what clothes they have on, what hairstyle they have on. We take advantage of that all the time. When you walk up to somebody and you see somebody and you go, oh, I don't like them shoes. I don't like those. What we need to do at that point is we need to take a self-inventory and think of all the crap we've been through in our entire lives, and then look back at that person and say, you know what, maybe they're going through something too. Because in the realistic part of it, everyone is going through something. There's no one in this world who's exempt from that. And we're all going through something, so we should treat each other with a little bit more respect. And instead of judging them, just walk up to them and say hello to them instead. And maybe you'll change their perspective throughout the day, or something, make them feel better about themselves. And hi, how are you? I'm good. How are you? Great. I hope you have a great day. You too. And maybe you just changed a little bit. Why?
Yeah.
Because it's easy to do, and we can all do it. But we have to choose to do it. Most of us
Right.
just choose not to. I mean, most people go, oh, I ain't got time for that person over there. Well, you know what? Oh, why didn't you have time? Well, I'm late for work. Well, if you're late for work, get up earlier. It's pretty simple.
Yeah. Daniel, when working with you, are you able to, let's just say, like for me, if I came to you and I asked, chose for you to assist me, could you help with connecting to our crossed over loved ones?
That's not what I do.
Okay, that's what I'm.
What I do, I communicate with my guides who are archangels, who are not men with wings and shields and swords, or magical beings that are going to fix your life. What I do is I provide you peace of mind and clarity, but also give you direction in your life by answering all the unanswered questions to help you get on the correct path so you can go home and stay home and not come back and do this all over again. That's what I do, because if you think it's important to connect with your mommy and daddy in heaven just so they can pat you on the back, or you think they're going to help you from heaven to get you on the correct path or straighten out your life, they know it's not their job to do that. They know it's the job of your spirit guides to do that. But in order for that to happen, you have to learn to listen, trust, and follow through with what your spirit guides are telling you, and most people don't.
Okay, so that brings another interesting question. What is our spirit guide's job precisely, and how
To
do they
provide you
communicate to us?
choices, to provide you options, but you have to make the right choices for yourself. Not everybody does, because they don't use their intuition, they use their ego, they use their selfishness instead.
But how do they communicate to us? How do we know when our spirit guides? How does anyone know when their spirit guide is?
Because you say things all the time that you don't even realize you're saying it. You say, you know what? I don't feel right about it. I got a funny feeling, or you know what? Something is telling me what not to go in that building. You know what the problem is? No one's ever investigated what that something is, and that something is your soul. It's telling you messages all the time, gut feelings all the time. Like when you're driving down the street in a car and you see a car in front of you, and you say, "I'm going to pass that car," and then all of a sudden you get a gut feeling that says, "Don't pass the car." You go, "Oh," and you get that like kind of like woo shook feeling, like. Oh. But you know how people don't listen? Because when you're in a hospital talking to your friend and they tell you 3 words, you say, they say, you know what? I saw that car in front of me, and then they say 3 words. This one, everyone says it. I just knew. I just knew, because their soul was telling them. But you know what they did? They didn't trust themselves. They didn't have trust and faith within themselves, and they talked themselves right out of it. And then boom, car accident, because you were trying to get into life too quick.
How big is connecting with your body, and connecting with your heart?
Oh, the heart, what you're talking about, is actually the soul. I mean, I'm not a big proponent of the chakras and all that stuff. I mean, I have talked to too many spirits. None of them have a chakra. So why, if they don't have a chakra, why do you? Because you don't.
Well, you're
Everything
in
is the
the body
soul.
and they're not. So
Yeah, everything is the soul, and the soul is everything. Everything that you feel and everything that's going on with you, these are things that are being brought to you from your soul. It's not your spine. It's not your throat. Again, because spirit don't have a throat chakra. They're not swallowing.
how do you get the communication? I remember when we were pre-interviewing you, I found it very interesting how you were getting your yeses and your nos from.
For me,
Yeah.
yeah, it's even from the last time that I talked to you guys, I've had more touches come in. So I get touched on my face for yes and no answers. When I get a yes, it feels like this going across my forehead, or some other place on my head or my face. When I get a no, it feels like a tear running down my eye. But I think the last time I talked to you guys, I had gotten like 107 different touches. Now I have 109. So it's always going forward all the time. And then for each touch is also, I also go, because regular spirit does touch me and I feel like a little tingle, but this is a direct right across my eye, or someplace else my face, even like right here. I get a swirl right here. That's Archangel Michael. I got this one right down the center of my forehead, and that's Jesus Christ. But he's not an archangel, but just different. Yeah, I get all these touches, and then while they're touching me, they're actually putting information in my mind. It's unknowing. It's just there. It's just there, like that fast. I get answers that fast. I don't have to sit around and go, well, let me ask them. No, it's just as soon as the question comes in. Sometimes people can ask me a question, and they are already answering me at the moment that they are giving me the question.
You must feel like a rock star in the middle of a concert getting mobbed.
Is it? Well, I could explain what it looks like if you want me to explain what it looks like. I don't talk about this much because it would probably scare somebody. Because when I see archangels, again, I don't see men with wings and shields and swords. Most archangels I see 8-foot praying mantis standing around me, and that's who's touching me. So when one is touching me, it's like because they showed it to me one time. I asked them, what does it absolutely look like? So I closed my eyes and they showed me, and they showed one of them up against my back, like a body snatcher movie, and tentacles were coming around and touching me on my face, but because they're in spirit, as one is touching me and another is touching me, they're just going right through each other and touching me. But there's no time involved. It's just touch, and information at the same time.
Mm.
Do the archangels ever not answer?
No.
And if so, what does their silence? No, they never not
No,
answer.
there's no silence. I don't have any silence in my life anymore. When I was first getting the answers from them, I was getting information about 5% of my day. Now it's 98% of my day. I don't ever not. And the only time I mean,
So you don't really you're not, from what I'm gathering, you're walking around here and you don't have to use the mind. You're operating in a state of awareness, a state of knowing, a state of receiving. Would that be correct?
yes, I'll also say it another way. I'm no longer me.
You're what?
I'm no longer me. I'm no longer the me I used to be. Not ever.
So are you saying
I don't ever not hear from them. And most of the time when even to the point where like in the morning, I'm diabetic. I don't do it this way anymore, but I used to. I would just pick up a pill bottle and look at it, and they touch me. No, I put the pill bottle down and I don't take it. I follow everything. Everything they tell me to do or tell me not to do, that's what I do.
Daniel, what is something the spiritual world or the divine world sees clearly about our lives here on earth that we are completely blind to?
The fact that we don't listen, the fact that we don't trust, and we don't follow through, we don't listen to the one thing inside of us that internal compass that is trying to guide us our entire lives. We have less and less trust and faith within ourselves, and more trust in the system that keeps lying to us all the time. That's one thing that they're just. They're patient with us, but
Yes.
unfortunately, we just don't pay attention. We go on ego and selfishness more than we go on anything else.
Yes. Is there any time you question what they tell you?
No, because everything that they have guided me with has come through, even to the point where now, like I said, I'm on a streaming spiritual network now. They guided me over 5 years ago to do podcasting. They guided me towards getting on the right shows, and I got on the right show, and they kept saying that it's going to go big, it's going to go out to the world. Well, it is now because the network I'm on now just went on Roku and Fire TV. It's about to go on Google TV and Apple and iOS and Android app and everything. So it's going to be everywhere.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That is
But
exciting.
but the only reason they got me on there is because of one thing.
What?
Because I'm the frickin' shizzle dizzle. That's why.
You're the shizzle my hizzle.
Yeah.
Well, Daniel, we have moved to our favorite segment of the
Oh
show.
boy, here we go.
Okay, are you ready? It's
Buckle up.
time.
I'm hoping do I get to have one of these during this?
What is that?
Sure.
This
It's
is
all
the
easy.
button, because people want to think that they have an easy button when it comes to
Oh,
spirituality. They think if they get all the crystals they get and they get wave a bunch of sage around and put some sacred geometry tattoos on themselves because they went to their favorite rock store, they think they're now becoming spiritual and they get to go,
that was easy.
and I'm spiritual. No, you're not.
Woo.
You're just full of shit.
well, my personal belief is that there's levels to this.
Well, the level being is you have to start from the beginning, which is releasing all those blocks first, and you'll never get to any of those levels unless you release those blocks. Because if you have internal and external drama going on around you all the time, then no, you are not clear enough to receive messages or receive anything at that point.
It feels like it takes mastery because
Yeah.
your body is experiencing all this, not the being. You are an infinite being with a body, so it's your body is being subjected to all of these frequencies, all of this manipulation, and it's being able to step outside and realize that I'm not the body. The body is what is experiencing this reality, and I am just the observer of it. So,
the biggest confusion is people say, "Oh, my soul." You don't have a soul. You are a soul. What you have is this meat suit. That's what you have.
Right.
And the meat suit is subjected to all these other meat suits telling you, you need this and you need that and you need this, and we tend to believe them. The people, all that stuff. It's just But we step away from that. The more you step away from it, no one can raise the vibrations of their soul. No one can, because that's God energy. You can't change that. But what you can do is take the trash of your life out, getting rid of all those blocks, all the pain, anger, sorrow, grief, guilt, anguish, and all that stuff. And once you release that, you will actually feel lighter as a person because you no longer have the weight of that all on your shoulders.
And it starts by becoming aware.
Yes.
And the power of choice, that you have choice in each now present moment to choose what you think, to choose on how to move and
right. People don't realize they have that choice. If you and I were best buddies, Bethany, and you said to me, Daniel, you know what? I'm having a problem drinking. I think I'm drinking too much. I would say, look, I'll take you away from all the drugs and alcohol. I'll take you to AA. I'll keep you away from all that stuff. I'll keep you away from all the bars and all that stuff. Although, who doesn't want to go to a strip club? I get it, whatever. I'll take you away from all that stuff. But no matter what I say or do isn't going to make a difference until you choose to stop drinking. If you're not willing to make that choice, then I can't help you. And what else can you not do? You can't help yourself.
That's right. You can't help anyone who doesn't want to help themselves.
Yes, there's that term that says, God bless you. Well, he did. He put you here, but he wants us to figure out the rest. The thing about the world is the people have in this world are always walking around complaining about their lives, taking their lives for granted. Although there's someone else in the world right now who's taking their last breath, wishing they had one more moment that you have that you've been taking for granted. So we need to learn to let that bull crap go and be thankful for what we do instead of complaining about it all the time. But we have been conditioned to complain.
You know, that's like Sharon and I, you know, we choose to look and know and feel and believe that we are winning, that each present moment. And once you start to believe and know that you're winning, you will see it, you will sense it, you will feel it, you will receive it. And so everything is a win, even the tough shit, even the stuff that makes you go,
especially this tough shit.
The tough stuff. You know,
that's what makes you grow as a human.
God bless you. He did. He put you here. He gave you life.
Yeah.
You want to sit here and complain about it? I mean, yeah, life isn't meant to be easy. If it was meant to be easy, what would be the point of living? Because if you were given everything in your lifetime, you wouldn't appreciate the things that you do have.
Right.
Go through chaos.
Yeah.
Well, Daniel, we're gonna throw out some scenarios to you.
Yeah.
And you tell us if it's a shift. Yes, it's expansive. I'm choosing it. Or if it's total shit, it's a program. No way, get it out of here.
Can I say total shit? Is that okay?
Yeah. Shit or shift.
Complete total shit? Okay.
Total shit.
Absolutely.
All right. First one, Daniel. If healing becomes about feeling better temporarily instead of understanding the root, shit or shift?
That is shit. We are not supposed to just do everything temporarily. We are supposed to take care of ourselves all the time, and that takes a lot of time and practice. And you have to be willing to put time and practice in it, because what you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. If you're not willing to put anything into it, then you're only going to get temporarily. And why would you want to be temporarily happy?
Right. Wow, good answer.
Okay, Daniel, if God is speaking through someone, should it ever be questioned? Shit or shift?
That's also shit, because God isn't going to speak through anyone, because he doesn't do that. He never has. People just want to believe that that's what's taking place, but they think whatever white light they see has to be God. But we're all white light beings, so how would that be possible? It could be anybody. He's not going to speak to you directly unless you are actually performing a specific task that he wants you to do, and you're very well aware of it. And that specific task is you trying to change the world.
Well, there might be a few pastors right now that are going,
yeah, exactly, clutching their Bibles and their beads.
Well, I'm sure there are, but there's also some priests out there doing some things with children they shouldn't be doing either. But apparently, they're allowed to talk to God, and we're not. Why is that?
I get it.
Fair enough.
We don't, because we don't need a middleman. We can do it anytime we want to. That's not a house of God. It's a house of guilt.
Love it.
All right, Daniel. If someone dismisses energy healing because they cannot see it or measure it, shit or shift?
That's also a shift, or shit. I can also help you with that. I'm going to help you right now, both of you. So I want you to take both your hands like this together and cup them together like you're trying to hold water in there. Okay, now look inside of that.
Yeah.
And inside of that cup, can you show me where you can see actual pain and anger and sorrow and grief? Can you see it?
No.
Can you see guilt?
No.
Can you see greed? Well, you can't see any of those, but you sure do make a hell of a lot of decisions based on things you can't see all day long.
Hmm.
Ooh, good
Nice.
answer. Good answer. That's a shift right there.
Hmm.
If divine guidance is available, what's stopping everyone from accessing it? And if everyone had a direct line to archangels, would it be shit or shift for the planet?
Again, not everybody has
Mhm.
communication with archangels. You're not meant to. It's just not. Again, some of us are meant to be teachers, others are meant to be students. But everybody has availability of getting answers from divine energy, because that divine energy is within you. Because we're all created from God, from a part of Him. This makes our soul a divine soul. Everyone is a divine soul, but we are not all divine people. But you have availability to that energy, because you have to learn to listen, trust, and follow through with what your spirit guides and your soul are telling you. Anyone can do it. Anyone can be intuitive. I mean, hell, a monkey's intuitive, and they seem to listen to their own intuition more than we do. So why don't we all get on board with that, knowing that we all have that opportunity to be able to get answers all we want to. But again, you have to learn to listen, trust, and follow through, and put in the time and the effort to do it. And nobody wants to do that. Again, they want to hit the easy button of spirituality, because they want it to just come easy. Because unfortunately, we live in this time and place when I remember we used to have dial-up, and now you have everything like this. They want it like that, and they don't want to do the work for it, but they can. All they have to do is make a choice to do it.
If a person believes they are broken, instead of recognizing they can shift their energy, is that a shit or shift?
That's also a shit, unfortunately, because they actually believe they're broken. No one's broken in this world.
Exactly.
Because people tell us that, because as I know, there are people tell us that we're not good enough. People tell us that we're broken. People tell us that we're failures and we're wrong about everything. But as I know, there's no right and wrong. There's no epic failure. There are no mistakes in this world. There's only what works and what doesn't work for you. And if it doesn't work for you, quit doing it. If you walk through a doorway, there's a nail on the floor, and you trip over the nail, how do you learn that lesson? You go get a hammer and bang it back in. Or you're like most people in this world who trip over it 4 or 5 times, but eventually they'll learn to figure out that's not working for them. You're not a failure. That's just society telling you that you're a failure, so they can always constantly have control and power over you. Learn to let that crap go, because it's they who tell you to eat bacon one day, and it's they who tell you not to eat bacon the next day. The problem is they need to shut the hell up, but we need to stop listening.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, Daniel.
Am I passing a test here?
No, you're just giving us a lot to think about.
All right.
Your guiding angels, waiting for your guiding angels to give you an answer on every decision that you make. Is that wisdom or risky dependency, shit or shift?
That is wisdom, because I have now known that I'm smart enough to wait for their guidance, instead of using my own selfishness or ego to do it instead.
Mm.
We can all do that with our intuition. We can all do that by our spirit guides, but no one wants to wait. But it's actually, if you're doing it all the time, the waiting period will diminish. You'll get it right away. But you have to, again, put in the time and make the effort to learn to listen, trust, and follow through. Once you do that, you have the keys to the castle. But nobody wants to wait that long. They don't want to do. They take the time. They don't want to practice. They don't want to work at it. They just want it now and then, because they believe they deserve it.
And they're too busy listening externally instead of internally. I think that's a major
Correct.
problem as well.
Bingo. Yes, correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Daniel, what is one thing you can tell our audience today to help them shift their shit?
To learn to have trust and faith within themselves. To know that not everyone else in the world knows you better than you do, because they don't.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to learn to know you as well, and you have to take the time and make the effort to do that.
Yeah.
No one else is going to do it for you.
And where can people connect with you and work with you? Where can they find you, Daniel?
They can find me at spiritmediumdaniel.com. I do readings for people. They can find me on the spiritual network I'm on. It's called New Reality TV. You can go to newrealitytv.com and watch all my shows. I have 2 shows on there. One's called Beyond the Veil with Daniel Jackson. Me. That's how I started. I'm kind of goofy that way. And And the other one's called Veil Tales, and that's about everything that I see, hear, feel, smell, sometimes taste, and communicate with. Because I have experiences with spirit every single day of my life. I don't ever not see spirit. Even as I'm looking at you right now, I'm seeing spirit. They're just floating around, and I see them all day long. But the other one's all about metaphysical and supernatural. So you can go over to newrealitytv.com and watch all the episodes. But all those episodes are now being imported over to Roku and Fire TV. And if you want to go there, you would just download the New Reality TV app. But I would put New Reality TV.com. You can't put a dot in there, and it'll come up, and then you can watch my show over there. Not just my show, but there's 47 other creators. There's movies, there's documentaries, there's meditations, there's even a cooking show on there. And yeah, it's a really good network. It's really good people. It's all about spirituality and helping each other. We all do it differently, but we all have the same inquired goal about it, which is helping just for the sake of helping.
Beautiful.
Well, thank you so much, Daniel, for your time, your energy, your heart. If this conversation sparked something in you and you're curious about, energy, awareness, and what it might be, what's possible beyond what, you've been taught, go check Daniel out and explore his work and see what resonates within your body.
Thank you so much for your time today, Daniel.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys. Be good. Don't do any stupid shit.
Too late, Daniel.
Well,
I just want to take a second to thank Jake and Chakra Power for joining us today and commenting. We have other people who have joined us, but those two have commented and added to the show. And Chakra Power shared a thought with us that there is no fate but what we make, by John Connor. So that's pretty profound. Thank you so much for sharing that, Chakra Power. Appreciate it.
Yes.
And if you've enjoyed this episode, make sure you like, subscribe, follow, and share it with someone who's ready for a shift.
Because the more we talk about these conversations, the more we expand what people believe is possible.
And that possibility is everything. Absolutely everything. If you open yourself up to possibilities, your options are limitless. And,
just like the nonprofit that we work with, like that, where we're making the impossible possible.
Exactly. That's the whole premise it was originated from, is Zanka's desire to show people that they can make the impossible possible. And it's pretty incredible, the things that we've learned through there and experienced through there. Very, very incredible.
Yes. So Sharon, who do we have on the show next week?
Next week, we are kicking off our consciousness series, and we were so excited. Our series is called WTF is Consciousness. So what the F is consciousness?
Yeah.
And Jennifer McKenzie is our first guest, and we're going to kick this off with a bang, because we're going to ask her a question that we're all wondering about, at least a lot of people we know. What is consciousness, and why is it so hard to explain?
Yeah.
So join us next week as we explore this fascinating topic and begin to unpack what's really going on beneath our everyday awareness.
Well, I'll look forward to that conversation. So, Sharon, remember, girl, when life kicks you in the balls, be sure to tune in to your Holy Shiftball podcast,
where we help you turn that shit into a shift.
See you Thursday.
See you next week.